now with 16. Piston lead trimmed to 12, 68-56. 2:22 to play in the third. Ben Gordon topside to Charlie V. Gunning for three, and it is through. Charlie V way downtown. That's his third triple in the third. Karen Godey off to Ray Allen. Now Daniels works against Rip. Backs in, little pump fake, missed on a scoop. Karen Godey had the rebound, lost it, taps it outside to Ray Allen. Great bump by Ben. Clock at 12. Daniels to the lane, lost the handle, picked up by Herringody. Way outside to Paul Pierce, 3 on the clock, behind the back against Tayshaun. Scoop on the run, no. Off the rim to Tayshaun. This made the Celtics scramble, didn't they?
Yeah, they're going to want to remember this defensive effort, the Pistons that is tonight, because it has been solid and it's been consistent.
Tayshaun hits the deck. Foul on Daniels.
Look at Charlie V. He's going to set his screen. This is the pick. And this is the pop. There's the shot that drops. Making up for lost time there, George.
Isn't it? Rip has to scoop it back to Tayshaun. Clock at 10. Just over a minute to play in the third. Rip's pass across the court, picked off by Paul Pierce. Paul Pierce with a drive. Draws the foul. Ben Gordon called for the foul.
That's the last 2 minutes. Shooting for Celtics, Pierce.
55.8 to play in the third. (71-56). The Pistons lead the Boston Celtics. Paul Pierce with the free throw leads the Celtics with 17. Pistons with 5 guys in double digits. Boston with only 2. Ray Allen next with 10. Now Pierce has 18. 71-58. The Pistons lead them. Final minute, third quarter at the Palace. Rip, shove by Vaughn Wafer. And Boston with no fouls to give. This will put Rip on the free throw line.
Shooting 2 for Detroit.
As we look at Doc Rivers. When the game ends, our coverage continues with Pistons Live. Here from head coach John Kuester and the players. Plus, we'll break down the game and show you all those highlights. Pistons Live from the Call Sam Studios immediately after the game here on Fox Sports Detroit. Chris Wilcox for Big Ben. Rip gets a split at the stripe. Pistons lead 72-58. Their biggest lead has been 16 a couple of minutes ago. Paul Pierce to the baseline. Paul Pierce backs on Rip. Paul Pierce from in front. Shot is in and out. Tap back up and in. He tapped in his own miss. We're down to 25 seconds to play in the third. Rip against Wafer. Rip to the paint, turns, fires and fills it up. Pistons lead it 74-60. Celtics will take the last shot here of the third. Daniels drives inside for Herringody, and he converts on a nice reverse. Now the Pistons might get themselves the last shot after all. Tayshaun at the horn, off the iron. After 3 at the Palace, the Pistons the aggressors both offensively and defensively, and they have the Celtics down a dozen. 74-62. You're watching Pistons basketball on Fox Sports Detroit.
Grab some bugs and buy Bell Tire. Get the lowest tire price, period. Bell Tire.
Well, the Pistons outscored the Celtics in the third. At one point had a 16-point lead. Charlie Villanueva with 11 of the Pistons' 29. Paul Pierce with 11 of the Celtics' 25.
Hey, George, check out Paul Pierce. He's going to miss the original shot, but then in a crowd, he's going to tap it back in. Now, on first glance, you might think as he goes back down the floor, he's a little upset because that wasn't a foul call, but maybe on second glance, he wants everybody to know, especially the scorekeeper.
Hey, that was me.
My tap in, not Luke Herringody. That was my 2 points.
Paul Pierce now with 20. By the way, the Sun Messengers here tonight, helping with the festive atmosphere. Their drummer's Terry Hughley and his wife Deborah, who's a great spirited Piston fan, celebrating a birthday tonight. Underway in the fourth at the Palace. And Greg Monroe picks the pocket of Jermaine O'Neal. Ripped to Austin Day, hit hard and fouled, says Benny Adams. Paul Pierce with his second foul. Greg Monroe didn't waste any time, did he?
No, well, O'Neal puts it right there in front of him. And Greg Monroe does have pretty quick hands, folks. We've seen him do that on a number of occasions here. And again, the story of the night, forcing turnovers. As it looks right now, the Celtics are going to go over 20 turnovers in this game. They're sitting on 18 right now.
15 or less would be the object for an entire game. Well, Austin Day could not convert, and a technical foul called by Benny Adams.
A technical foul has been assessed to the Celtics
Doc
coach.
Rivers.
Here you see Doc, competitive guy. One-time NBA All-Star.
Foul number 9, Chris Wilcox. Be assessed.
Rip, meantime, makes the technical foul free throw. Chris Wilcox, Greg Monroe, Austin Day, Will Bynum and Rip for the Pistons. Aaron Godey with a bounce to Daniels for Boston. Paul Pierce to the baseline, and nice little up fake. But they're going to call him for a walk. He got the bump after the up fake, but took an extra step doing it.
Here he makes his move, left-hand dribble. Could not maintain his balance, George, as he was drifting underneath that backboard and ended up traveling with it. Doc Rivers not in agreement with the call, but it stands.
He and Ray Allen each with 5 turnovers. They have to do a lot in the absence of point guard Rajon Rondo. Greg Monroe inside, powers that baby up and down. And he draws the foul. Glenn Davis called for his second.
Watch. Greg Monroe's going to make his move to the basket after causing a little bit of interference, but the most important thing, both defenders go to Richard Hamilton, and Rick makes the smart pass, the smart basketball play.
Greg misses on the chance for a three-point play. Ball Pierce right straight to the rack and laid it in. 22 for Paul Pierce.
You got to be careful with the Pistons and not get too comfortable.
There's a ton of time left. We're only in the second minute of the fourth.
That's right. And Boston demonstrated, George, last night against the Pacers, outscoring them by 13 in the fourth, held them to 26% field goal shooting to win that game off their defense.
Rick missed the three. Pierce inside for Daniels for the deuce. Now it's 77-66, and John Kuster Making a good timeout call right here to slow down the Celtics and fire up his team. The Pistons have led by 16. Their lead now.
Maybe 2 good shots in the championship. They obviously didn't know enough about Garnett or Allen.
You'll see him at the gym 3 hours before game starts. You'll see Kevin Garnett, probably one of the best speakers or talkers on the defensive floor, taking his team to a different level defensively. So when you're able to add that kind of character, age does not matter.
No doubt they missed Garnett's chattiness since he was hurt in the first quarter. And from 07, when they were last in the East, to winning a championship, pretty amazing. But the Pistons are giving them some rude treatment tonight to their guests. Over back to you, George.
Well, they'd like to hand the Celtics just their 6th loss of the season. Paul Pierce fights for the basketball, comes away with it. Still has it, a no-looker to Wafer. Vaughn Wafer for 3. Won't go through. Tapped out, controlled by Will Bynum. Rifles it to Austin Day. Blocked by Wafer. Daniels to the rim on the other end. Gets it up and in over Greg Monroe.
Well, as I said, Pistons must be careful. Boston's done this before.
Will Bynum turns the corner. And Wafer fouls him.
Well, a couple of times now Austin Day has made a move, and it looks like, you know, he was fouled, but on second look, it appears to be a pretty good defensive play from behind that time. Austin knows he's got to score that.
Austin and Greg Monroe come out. Pistons with Charlie V and Chris Wilcox and Tayshaun up front. Will and Rip in the backcourt. Clock at 6 for Tayshaun against Paul Pierce. Now it's at 5. And we got a 3 in the lane without guarding that kind of bails the Pistons out with only 3 on the 24.
Pistons have to say, hey, this will help. But here it is right here.
Jermaine O'Neal out there in the middle of nowhere, or I should say in there. Nobody around to guard. Rip makes the technical foul free throw. He has 7. Pistons by 10 again. 9 and 22 to go in the game. Charlie V for 3, and it's through.
Release.